Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Risky Powerhouse. You know, we in Risky Powerhouse Studios. We in here kicking it. You know what I mean? Chilling, enjoying basketball. I've got a question, man. Is the March Madness in the NCAA right now, or is it in the league, bruh? Because when you watch it, just think about the month of March alone. How many 40-point games, 50-point games, and even 60-point games have we been blessed to see? Have we been blessed to experience? Just think about it. You got Karl Anthony Towns 50. You got 44 from Josh Hart, 47 from Jordan Clarkson. You got 41 from De'Aaron Fox. You got the 46-point game from Giannis. You got the 56 from LeBron, the 50 from LeBron, the 52 from Kevin Durant the other day. Like, when you think about the games that these players are putting up on a night in, night out basis, it's like they're one-upping each other every single night. It's like, now I'm looking forward to somebody dropping 40 tonight. I don't know who it's going to be, but it's like I can't miss a game. It's like Kyrie went for 47 last night. Draymond just got back. The first game of the Golden State Big Three since Clay been back in healthy in the lineup. And what Steph do? He give the fans a show. He knew people anticipated Draymond coming back, playing with Clay and Steph. And Steph, he lived up to the expectation of that moment. 47 points, big game, and a win. And then when you think about Kyrie Irving in particular, like, this dude has been on another level. Like, I understand he's probably fresh, he healthy, he haven't really had a grind of a season. He just played in splits, isolated moments. Well, just as much as that can be a positive, that can be a negative in terms of his physical condition and all that stuff. Like, I put on Twitter earlier, I said, if you're a content creator and you didn't bow down to Kyrie Irving today, you didn't do your due diligence, man. There's no way we can get these performances that dude is putting up and not show some type of admiration, respect. Be aware of what's going on. Let me take y'all through Kyrie, the last couple of whatevers. Like, first of all, he the only Brooklyn Nets player to have 4 50-plus games. He got 4. 4. And then one of those is a 60-pointer. KD got 2, and all the rest of the Brooklyn Nets history got 7 combined. 7 combined, and Kyrie got 4. Listen to that. This season, he averaging about 26 points, 5.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 4.5 rebounds, shooting 47.5% from the field, 40.8% from 3, 89.7% from the free throw line. He only played 18 games, but we know with the vaccine situation, we're not going to go down that road. But when you watch him play, he's definitely a better option than what James Harden was for the team, just because of his game don't have deficiencies that directly impact losing. Where Kyrie, he give effort on defense, but he might not be the most statistically impactful defender, but he give effort. He don't turn the ball over. He efficient from the floor and from the 3, from the mid-range, and from the rim. So it's like his size might be his biggest flaw, really, being 6'2". And when you look at that with the effort and how efficient he is on offense, he really propel your team, really. When all you need is a couple of defenders around him, KD definitely going to do his part, and you on and rolling. You don't ever got to worry about Kyrie Irving cheating you or not being committed to the floor when he's on the court. When he on the court, he going to put you in the best position possible to win. Like, I'm going to just rewind a couple games back and just take y'all through what Kyrie been doing as of late. But, you take him back to his game before, the last time he played was in Philly, where, it was a lot of hype. It was a lot of energy surrounding that game just because of the simple fact of James Harden forced to trade Ben Simmons back in Philly. Although Ben didn't play, Ben Simmons back in Philly, the fans into it, everybody up for this game. And what Kyrie do? He called a switch on James Harden 3 times in a row in the first half, roasting him. He went 6 for 10 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3. He had 16 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, and 2 blocks in the first half alone. In the first half alone, 6 for 10 field goals. Dude, they was up by 21 points. 21 points, 72 to 51 at half, and Kyrie Irving was a plus 16. So out of that 21-point lead, Kyrie contributed to only but 5 points of that lead. Dude was helping his team. It's not like he was just out there running around scoring. Nah, they getting stops, Kyrie getting another bucket. They get a stop, he getting another bucket. He optimizing his team's offense, raising the floor and pushing the ceiling for his team. And he been doing that night in and night out. We know the Philly game had a lot of hype. He ended the game with 22, but it was a blowout. He did that in like 2.5 quarters. If it was a close game, he could have very well went for 40, maybe even 50 that game. You know, because they started letting their role players eat. They started moving the ball. You know, they was just having a good time on Philly at that point, just trying to keep them beat off the line and breathe in the fourth quarter for the most part. When you rewind back one more game before that, versus Charlotte, he put up a show. It wasn't a lot of hype around it, but you know, Kyrie Irving, he was a #1 overall pick. LaMelo Ball, he was the #1 guard to come out of his class. And it's always going to be some type of energy when you got the young buck chasing the vet, you know? And what Kyrie do? He showed the young buck that you're just not ready. Kyrie go 50 points, six assists, 3 rebounds, a steal, and a block. He had 3 turnovers, which is fine, considering he shot 15 for 19 from the field, 9 for 12 from 3, and 11 for 13 from the free throw. Think about that. Kyrie put up the highest efficiency 50-point game in NBA history, according to true shooting percentage. 101% true shooting. Dude was 15 for 19 field goals, and he is 6'2". Think about that. That's a stat sheet that Giannis have. That's a stat sheet that LeBron might have. Not the threes, not the 9 for 12 three-pointer, but I'm just saying the 15 for 19 field goals in general. You know? But when you consider Kyrie taking fadeaways from 18 feet, he driving to the rim, he pulling up from 12, you know, 2 dribble pull-ups, 1 dribble pull-ups, catch and shoot threes, transition pull-up threes, getting to the rim, left hand, right hand. He's taking a array of different moves and he's attacking the basket from different ways to the point where shooting 15 for 19 is so valuable. Like, it's hard to do that when you're shooting from all over the floor. Usually players that get box scores like this is catching lobs, or, you know, they just getting a bunch of lays, running in transition and stuff like that. But Kyrie, he getting pure buckets, like pure buckets. There's no in between or if, ands, or buts. And it's undeniable. Like, he got 2 of the top 50. He got 2 of the top 5 50-point performances in NBA history, according to true shooting. Think about that. He has the #1 single most efficient game, and then, if I'm not mistaken, it's the 4th or the 5th most efficient game. And that's a testament to his strengths. Last year he was 50, 40, 90, averaging 27, you know. And when you consider the volume that he does it with, you know, he's not crazy volume like a Russell Westbrook in OKC or a James Harden in Houston. He's not breaking the all-time usage rate every year or nothing like that. But his usage is still that of an all-star level player, you know, 17, 18, 19 shots, 7, 8, 9 threes per game, you know, 5 to 6 free throws. And he's hitting from everywhere. That's hard to sustain. I don't care if you're healthy. I don't care if you're taking games off. I don't care if you're fresh and you got energy. That's hard to sustain. People need to realize and not take this for advantage exactly what he's doing. So I just wanted to take y'all back a couple games just so we can walk into the 60-point game, you know, because he came out, he dropped a 50 on Charlotte. He goes to Philly for a primetime TNT game. He put up 16 in the first half, finished that game with 22. They blowed him out by nearly 30 points. KD go and drop 52 on New York. You know, Kyrie couldn't play that game, but he bought courtside tickets, you feel me, to show up and watch his team. And it's a shame that, think about this, Kyrie Irving as a citizen, quote unquote, can buy courtside tickets and be at the game in Barclays, but as an employee, he can't be active working his job in Barclays. It's the same thing. I'm not understanding how it's okay for him to sit in the front row and watch his team play, but he can't literally take 2 to 6 feet of more space and be on the floor. Think about, like, how much sense, do that really make sense? Like, I understand when they made these rules, they didn't think about small inconsistencies like this. What they were thinking was, okay, we want all of our, I don't think it's government official, I think it's private sector. It's something that they use, a certain verbiage that they use that includes players that play for like multi-million-dollar, like that work for multi-million-dollar corporations that provide entertainment, hospitals, firefighters, anything that's tax paid, pretty much. And somehow Brooklyn is involved in that because of how much revenue they create, because of how big their private facility is and all of that stuff. It's a shame. They didn't think about, players and Kyrie doing what he did last night. All they thought about was, we don't need people coming to work and possibly, infecting consumers that's coming into their workspace. Well, all Kyrie did was become the consumer yet the other day, and he pulled up to the game. And after the game, he went to the locker room, congratulated his teammates and all of that stuff. And the Brooklyn Nets were fined $50,000. How? Like, I understand the rules and I understand it all, because Kyrie, the reason you paid for those tickets is because you knew you couldn't literally be around the team. So going into the locker room after the game, that was pretty stupid. But when you just think about the common sense aspect of how they fined the team $50,000, how they also basically let him be with his team on the road, let him fly with his team on the road, travel, all of that stuff, it doesn't make sense. Like, I hope by the playoffs, Kyrie is able to play. I made a point on a podcast that I did over the weekend on Josh Proximity. I made a point about Kyrie that Brooklyn being in the A seed is kind of beneficial for Kyrie if the mandate isn't lifted in Brooklyn, because if it comes down to a game 7, Kyrie will be able to play on the road. Would you rather be the Brooklyn Nets? Would you rather have home court advantage throughout the course of their playoffs and Kyrie is only playing 3 games per series? Or would you rather go on the road with KD and Kyrie and you have Kyrie for a potential game 7 if it goes that far? I would rather be on the road if it was me, because I want my best talent on the floor as much as possible, no matter the circumstances. Like, on the road, at home, it don't matter when I got KD and Kyrie. And that should be their team's confidence. Like, we have enough, being at home, it'll be a blessing, but it's not mandatory. And we can still get this chip without it. So that's how they should approach it, in my opinion. Y'all let me know how y'all think about the mandate and all that stuff, what y'all feel about that. But Kyrie comes up after the Philly blowout. He watched KD get 52. And he basically said, look, KD, I see what you did versus the Knicks and stuff, and it was a great game, but I'm about to one-up you today. They played Orlando in Orlando. So when you watch the difficulty of the team, it wasn't really a lot of resistance. I like Franz Wagner. I like they got a few young players that I like. I like Franz Wagner. I also like Cole Anthony, excuse me. They got Mo Bamba. I'm happy for Mo Bamba that he got the opportunity this season to prove that he was at least a quality role-playing big man. I'm not sure if he's proven that he's a guaranteed starter, like a Steven Adams or like a Jonas Valanciunas. I'm not sure if he proved that he was a guaranteed starter, like a Jonas Valanciunas, like a Steven Adams. I'm not sure if he got to that level, but he's definitely proven that he deserved to be in the league, be in a 7 or 8 man rotation on pretty much any team in the league, depending on the level of competitiveness. So I'm happy for Mo Bamba in that regard. And he had a fairly decent game as well. He didn't play completely bad, but when you just watch Kyrie, it was too much, man. Brooklyn put up 85+ points in the first half, and Kyrie fueled it with 41. Kyrie had 41 at halftime. 41. Think about that. 41 at half. Now, I was just running down all of those 40-point performances and 50-point performances and 60-point performances for Karl Anthony Towns and Kyrie that we would have been blessed with over this month alone. And he put up 41 at half. And one thing I like about teams that enjoy playing with each other, you notice when one guy get hot, when somebody starts to get it going, the team starts to let them go. They start to feed them. And that's what I was glad to see from the Brooklyn Nets in regards to Kyrie Irving. He had 41 at half, and it basically seemed like when it came down to the gritty, the team started getting on the ball more and more and more and more. Like, he shot 31 shots. If I'm not mistaken, I think the next man shot like, 12 or 13? He shot 31 shots. The next man was Kevin Durant with 9 shots. Claxton also took 9 shots. Everybody else divvied up the rest. So that should tell y'all, like, he was the fuel of their offense, literally. He's 20 for 31 field goals, 8 for 12 from 3, 12 for 13 from the free throw line, 60 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, and a block. So he's giving effort on defense. He's giving you a positive impact on both offense and defense, a plus 36. I ain't gonna say he single-handedly carried because KD gave him 19. Bruce Brown gave him 10. Drummond gave him 10. You got 12 points from Claxton. You got Edwards gave you 14. Patty Mills gave you 15. All of these dudes coming off the bench was a plus 20. So Orlando never really had a chance to win at all. They never really had a chance from the get-go because Kyrie made up his mind that today one of them days for me. Today one of them days for me. So shout out to Kyrie Irving, man. Anybody that's, I think the next 4 games are at home for the Brooklyn Nets, so we won't see Kyrie at all. I think he only got 3 more games this season to play. I'm glad he's going out there and giving it his all. I'm glad the coaching staff is not being funny and petty because it was a blowout game. Kyrie didn't have to play 35 minutes yesterday, but he can't play home games, so the games that he get to play, let him play. Let him play with the role players. Give him the minutes so he can be in some type of shape. Hopefully this is not something that ushers into injury, because when you sitting your body down and then you revving it up, then you sit your body down, then you trying to rev it up, it's a little bit better when you keeping a consistent motor going day in and day out so that your body can, adjust to having to push. But Kyrie is definitely, he putting on the show every night he plays. He's box office. Nobody ever questioned his talent or his skill. We was having a conversation in the group chat yesterday, my fantasy league, about Kyrie, and everybody feel like I'm a hater of Kyrie Irving. I don't hate Kyrie Irving. I just don't think that he's a MVP level player. When you look at MVPs and what they do game in and game out, when you look at how their team can depend on them, whether if it's health or whether if it's something going on in Kyrie's head, or in this year it's COVID. And Kyrie was like this before COVID. Kyrie was like this before COVID, so I don't want to hear, oh, it's the vaccine mandate, that's out of his power. Man, Kyrie was like this before this year. This year was just another factor. It's just something else. It's always something new. And before COVID protocol and all that stuff, before the mandate for vaccines and all that stuff came out, I said this in the playoffs. I said next year is going to be something new with Kyrie. This year was the 3 or 4 personal leaves of absence that Kyrie had, sister birthday parties and social justice issue. He just say, you know what, I ain't showing up today. He did that last year like 4 or 5 times. Missed about 10 to 15 isolated games that he didn't have to miss. But when you look at his health as well, he worse than Anthony Davis. When you look at the course of their careers, Kyrie had multiple ankle injuries before LeBron got to Cleveland, knee injuries that set him out. He hurt his knee in the finals of 2015, which led to him missing half of the 2016 season, which was the season that he won the championship in. He missed half of that season. LeBron had to carry the team to hold them afloat until Kyrie got back. And then when Kyrie got back, he made his run in the playoffs. We know what he did. 2017 was his most complete season, where he averaged 25 points, in my opinion. He played 75 games. He averaged 25 and 5. Great percentages. His percentages are always great. Cleveland went to the finals. I think he averaged 27 points through the playoff run, 29 points through the final series. They lost to Golden State with Kevin Durant. 2018, he go to Boston. He get hurt that year. 2019, Boston got a 61-win projection, supposed to be the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Milwaukee took that from them. And at the time, Milwaukee was coming from an 8th seed the previous year. An 8th seed. Giannis wasn't proven yet. Giannis wasn't an MVP level player yet. Kyrie was supposed to be the MVP level player in the Eastern Conference when LeBron went out west. You know what I mean? You had Kyrie. Kawhi Leonard had just left Toronto. Boston had the most talent in the East. I ain't making this up. I tell you about Kawhi had just got to Toronto, but we knew the load management plan was underway. We knew he wasn't going to be game in and game out in Toronto. You know what I mean? So Boston was supposed to have a 62-win season. They won 46 or 47 games. Got knocked out in the second round to Milwaukee, and it was a bad loss. It was a terrible loss. I think they won the first game and then they lost 4 straight. So they really didn't put up a fight. They never really had a chance at a championship under Kyrie leadership. He go to Brooklyn with KD. He only played 20 games that first year. The second year, which was last year, they get Harden and all of that stuff. We know what happened. Kyrie had a decent year, 27 points. I think it was 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 50, 40, 90. They get to the second round, you know, Giannis get up under his foot during the layup, and he's out with another ankle injury. So it's like, I just want to see Kyrie put together an entire season plus playoffs consistently. We see what Giannis does for his team, game in and game out for the regular season and playoffs. We see what Steph did for his team and what he's doing for his team, game in and game out. You know, every day he's with his team, he's building for a championship. And when they get to the playoffs, his team need him to up his level, and he tried to take them there. We see with young players that's growing into their teams, like Trae Young and Ja Morant. We see what they're doing for their teams, game in and game out, and being that player for their team. So, you know, Kyrie is the #1 pick. It's not just enough for me for you to show me that you're a good player. No, we know you're a good player. That's why you was the #1 pick. That's why you was the #1 player in your high school class. That's why you only played 5 or 6 games at Duke and still came out #1 overall, because everybody knew your talent and your skill, bro. But it's the thing that it's the intangible thing that you gotta do to check these boxes. People wonder why Dame Lillard is top 75 and Kyrie is not. Well, Dame Lillard did those things that I was explaining for about 7 years, game in and game out, regular season, leading his team, having high-level statistical seasons, getting to the playoffs, raising his level, trying to get his team there. Now, we know his team is not a championship-level team, but your team not being a championship-level team doesn't take away from your effort and your commitment day to day. You know what I mean? That's the part that you got to check off day to day, and Kyrie just have it, in my opinion. So y'all let me know what y'all think about those comments. I had to come out here and give my man some love. He putting up crazy games. Hopefully this mandate open up so that during the playoffs we can get the full entirety of the Brooklyn Nets. I'm a basketball fan at the end of the day. I'm an NBA fan. I don't have a favorite NBA team. I want to see all 30 teams maximize themselves, and that's going to provide the best product for my viewership, for what I like to see. So yeah, I hope they can figure that out. Proud Kyrie out there giving us a show. As a fan, we need to see more elite 3-level shot creators like Kyrie. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, man, y'all let me know what y'all think about that boy Kyrie. Y'all let me know if y'all think he should be all top 75 all time over a player like Dame or maybe an Anthony Davis. But y'all give me y'all thoughts on that. It's the Risky Powerhouse. I'm Kendall Bishop out of here, man. Y'all will see me later. Deuces.